Hey guys, welcome back. It's so good to be with you again as we finish First Peter. I'm actually in my apartment today. There's a reason you can't see the rest of it. Just kidding. It's not really that dirty. It does smell bad. I burnt a grilled cheese, which is kind of hard to do, but I'm a master chef, so I pulled. But anyway, welcome back to Brett's Bible Minute. All right, so just to review a little bit, we've been going through First Peter chapter 2, verses 4 through 12, right? And we first hit where it says we are living stones, which is rad. That means we get to build up a temple for Christ. We are now the temple. We get to do all the things that they used to have someone else do, but now we are that church. Now we are that holy body. And with that, Christ is our living rock that we get to build our life upon. It goes on to say that he's either our rock that we build upon or a rock of stumbling. And so we get to see the two sides. But because we are believers, we get to be part of, it says, a holy nation, meaning a community of people that get to show the gospel. And we are a royal priesthood, meaning we get to do all those religious things. We don't have to have a mediator on earth, but rather just Christ, who is now our new mediator. If you participated in the devotion yesterday, it showed us that that's the difference now. We used to have, it depicts Mount Sinai, which is all dark and scary, versus Mount Zion, which Mount Zion has Christ as the mediator, and it's definitely where you want to be a citizen, right? So looking in today's passage, we're going to just verses 11 and 12. Beloved, I beg you as sojourners and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lusts, which war against the soul. Having your conduct honorable among the Gentiles, that when they speak against you as evildoers, they may, by your good works which they observe, glorify God in the day of visitation. All right, so let's just go ahead and dive in. Verse 1 speaks about pilgrims and sojourners. I know when you think about pilgrims, you're probably thinking of like Happy Thanksgiving and like the belt buckle hats. I don't know how those went out style. I would love one personally. Turkey and all that. But what pilgrims really are just people in a foreign land, right? We don't have a citizenship here anymore, not on this earth. Our country is very about that nationalism, America, right? And that's not a bad thing. We love your country, it's great. But now we are not part of this earth anymore. Instead, we have a citizenship in heaven. This is a temporary, and we get to look to this eternal home that we get after we pass away, right? Our hearts now belong to a new home. So it goes on to say, he's begging us, beloved, I beg you, keeping this in mind that this is not your home, abstain from fleshly lusts which war against the soul. So usually when we think fleshly lust, we think most likely sexual kind of things like that, just using the word flesh, right? Galatians chapter 5, verses 19 through 21 give us a list of them, and I'll just pick out a few, but just to get the point across. I mean, we got idolatry, we got jealousies, selfish ambitions, hatred, outbursts of wrath. Yeah, we've never gotten angry before, right? Envy, murders. And Jesus even said hating someone with your heart is the same as murdering. And evil speaking, just to name a few, right? These are all things that we think it's minuscule. We rank sin. We like to say, oh, mine's not that bad. But overall, we have to keep in mind that these are so important to look at and think, am I doing this? Is this me? Is this describing me? So what's the purpose? It says, having your conduct honorable among the Gentiles, that when they speak. So what it's saying is, so that you can be the example, so that you can appear different, right? We have to show that honorable conduct being Christians. I think I used this analogy actually last time we all got to hang out, but I got three brothers, right? So I got Brian, who's my twin, dark hair, Brad, who's a year younger, and then you all know Brock, right, in high school. And whenever we'd get in trouble at the store or something growing up, Mom would always stop us and give us this talk where she would say, hey, your last name is Harper, and because you're all dudes, your last name will always be Harper. And I love that because think about that as in Christ. When you say you are a Christian, you say, I am in Christ. So now people see you that way. So you have the reputation. People look at me, I'm Brett Harper in Christ, right? I'm Brett in Christ. That is what putting the word Christian on the end of your name means. So now you have to go out in the world and show what that new life is all about. Not being perfect, but showing the grace and imperfection that we now have access to. Going on, the whole point is that someday our suffering is going to glorify Christ. Even if right now you're in the midst of something hard, I mean, we're in this something hard, right? But your conduct, God's going to come back at that, and He recognizes that. And again, it's that, delayed gratification. This is coming. We get to build up all of this in heaven and do these works now, knowing that they're painful and knowing that someday they won't be, right? So, kind of to sum all this up for this passage, I don't want us to get in the mindset of us versus them. It is not us trying to be better than non-believers. It is not us saying, you guys are sinners, let me show you how it's done. What it is us coming alongside, working for non-believers to say, I have this gift, this is why I am free now, so that we can help them, that we can show them the gospel. We are to be examples showing the freedom that comes with a lack of sin. When we give up our sin, when we have that freedom from sin, we get to show them what that looks like. Not being held to vices and old addictions that we may have had, right? So overall, if I had to sum this up, we are a group of people, sinners who have been shown grace, that now get to be a community to show Christ to the world. That's what they're getting at. We get to show that, knowing that we are building our lives upon Christ ourselves. So just a few questions to ask yourselves. Firstly, do you want to be built up on Christ? Do you have a desire for that? That's step one. If you don't want that, why would you go chasing after it, right? Check your heart and think, do I want this? Is this something I desire daily? And if not, why not? How can you be desiring that? Next, what sins do you have issues avoiding? I know for me, it's pretty easy not to speak illy of someone or have evil speaking or speak dirty when I'm by myself, right? Because I'm most likely watching TV or playing video games, or playing music. I don't know. I do a lot, I guess. But, when I'm in a friend group, right, that's when it gets hard. If people are speaking like that around me, that's when I want to join in the conversation. That's when I want to join in that sin. Who can you be an example to in those situations? And lastly, who do you see this as a battle against, right? We have to choose. Are you seeing this as a battle against like atheism and those people and these people groups, or are we understanding that that's not what it's about? This is about warring with Satan. Satan is telling people lies, cutting us off, and we have to come alongside telling people about the goodness of God so that He may change them, right? That's our job. Our job is to show His goodness, show what we have, telling them, if you had what I had, it's going to change your life. But it's not up to us to change them on the inside. Only God can do that. But while we're on this earth, we have a commission. Let's go tell people about Christ. So, guys, I hope that this helped. I'll be coming back on Sunday with a brand new passage that we'll get to kind of break out during the week. And until I see you guys.